it going, everybody? My name's Jim. I've got the YouTube channel Scottish Guy in Moscow. I've been living here for 1 year and I'm about to speak to Igor about my experiences.
Really?
Да. Я говорю по-русски.
Да?
Чуть-чуть. Some people live a lot better than me as well. Привет. I was just going to say, Russian people, that's the first person that's not said hello back to me. I wanted to find a country, a city where I could call home.
So how you compare it with living in Moscow?
It's just night and day, it's completely different. Here it's just everything's so clean, everything's so safe. So I'm a school teacher. If the average person came here and saw how functional and how safe and how clean it was, they would understand that. For me, I'm better off living here.
What's up, everybody? This is Igor in Russia, foreigner traveling to Russia and filming you the great and sometimes maybe not even so great, but the main thing, reality of Russia. And guys, I'm with the Scottish guy in Moscow, and we're gonna learn more about his life in this greatest city, I think it's greatest city in the world. So Jim, it's really nice to meet you here in the Moscow city, the center of wealth. We're gonna do some epic stuff right now.
Let's do it. Let's talk about this beautiful city, which I love, and let's tell these people about it. Let's do it.
And let me know if you need translation to his speech. Guys, if you're watching this, if you're not yet subscribed, please push like. And remember, there's always more content for members.
All right, guys, so how did I come here? Well, I've been pretty much traveling my whole life. Ever since I was a young child, I wanted to travel, I wanted to see the world. I've lived in different countries. I've lived in America, I've lived in Australia, New Zealand, mostly English-speaking countries. And I decided that I wanted to settle down. I wanted to find a country, a city where I could call home, somewhere that I love, somewhere that aligns with my views, my values. And I decided to come here to Moscow. I've been here for a year now. I work as a school teacher here. I've started my channel. I've made friends, and I absolutely love it here.
Try to be like anonymous, but you know.
We all know who you are now.
Really?
Да. Я говорю по-русски.
говоришь, да?
Чуть-чуть.
А что снимаете тоже?
Что? Влогер? Да,
блогер.
я тоже.
Влог в Москве?
Igor in Russia, Scottish guy в
You from
Москве.
Edinburgh?
Glasgow. Это мой канал. Scottish guy in
Scottish
Moscow.
guy in Moscow.
Yeah, pretty much just anything in Moscow, different. Много тема.
Всего хорошего.
Nice to meet you.
Приятно познакомиться.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you.
Приятно, очень приятно. Хорошего дня.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, Jim, so where did you live before this? And how does it compare to Moscow city pulse and life?
Well, I grew up in a little town in Scotland. There was only 10,000 people, called Lanark. It's where William Wallace is from, if you've ever heard of William Wallace. The movie Braveheart, Mel Gibson. Anyway, so we're very proud of him. We've got a big statue. But apart from William Wallace, it was a very boring little town to grow up in. But it was very close to Glasgow, which is the biggest city in Scotland. So I spent a lot of my time, if I wasn't traveling or living in any other country, living in Glasgow. I went to the University of Glasgow to study, to become a teacher. So I would probably class Glasgow pretty much as my hometown.
So how you compare it with living in Moscow?
It's just night and day, it's completely different. I mean, for example, the size of it, Glasgow's only 500,000 people. I think Moscow's about 12 million. But
actually
just
20, and officially it's 14. But actually it's like 20.
so that with
There's so many
the surrounding
people.
Yeah,
So Moscow.
Yeah, so that's the size, but the differences in, well, let's talk about the safety. Here, it's just everything's so clean, everything's so safe. You know, when you walk around at night, I never see any problems. I live in Shabalovskaya, and you know, it'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning, there'll be like girls walking alone, maybe walking a dog, something like that. And Glasgow's a very dangerous city. There's a lot of murders, a lot of stabbings, all that sort of thing. A lot of violence to do with football as well, Catholic and Protestant divide. And I just wanted to live somewhere that's just, for me, when I'm going to say the word peaceful, I think when you say the word peaceful, people, because of the media, people don't assume that you could equate peaceful add Moscow together. But honestly, it's the sort of quietest, most peaceful city that I've been in. I can't really equate it to another city because it's not really another city I can compare it to. I just absolutely love it here.
So you mentioned football, so do you have your own favorite football team already in Russia, or is it Scottish team all the way?
Well, I mean, I've not been to a game, but I'm friends with a guy called Artyom, and he's going to take me to a CSKA, is that how you say it?
CSKA.
Tieska.
CSKA.
Tieska. Which
No.
when we were growing up, they used to pronounce
Guys
it.
are laughing.
The guy's laughing at
Yeah,
me.
because it's CSKA.
Tieska. I must right.
Or say C
Tie.
S
S.
CSKA.
Tieska. So
Tieska.
right, so I'm going to get beaten
It's
up
better,
if I
it's
go to the game if
Yeah.
you see this. 'cause I
I'll
can't
beat you
even
up.
say it.
No.
We used to
I'm from
pronounce
St. Petersburg. It's Ska. Oh, it's Ska.
But I
Ska.
remember-
In St. Petersburg, it's Ska. Just Ska.
Ska.
It's a St. Petersburg team, and they're like enemies. So, guys told me that don't wear this Ska cap in Moscow, you'll get beaten up. They were just kidding, but I actually bought Spartak beanie back then just to make sure.
Yeah, so I think the hooliganism is on a different level here, isn't it? It's quite organised. So
Yeah.
I wanted to do a video about it because this guy that I spoke to Artyom, he was going to take me. I couldn't remember why I couldn't make the game, but so we're definitely going to do it. But I think because they've got some kind of fan ID, they've all boycotted the game, so you can only go to certain cup games. You can't go to league games. So I'll definitely go to one, but I better learn how to say the team name first. It's because in Scotland we call it CSKA because I always remember playing them in Europe. Anyway.
Some places they call Cheska. I was like, guys, it's CSKA. But anyways.
Yeah. I was getting some before I met you, but yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Also safety, and that's an issue that I know that yours and my viewers, and especially also trolls, want to say that do not travel to Russia, it's dangerous. And it's actually not just trolls, it's on the governmental level. What do you think of that? How true is what they say? They say do not travel to Russia at any cost.
Yeah, but I think after living here for 1 year, I think you realise why, especially on a governmental level. They're saying this is because if the average person from, for example, the UK, where there's race riots happening right now, if people are setting cities on fire because they're unhappy with what's happening in their country, in the UK, if the average person came here and saw how functional and how safe and how clean it was, they would understand that the 46% tax that they're charging school teachers in Scotland. I mean, a school teacher isn't a millionaire. A school teacher is like an average working person. In Scotland, the top end, they're taking 46% of their tax from them.
Yeah.
And then what do you get for it? You get dirty, unclean streets where you can't make a doctor's appointment on the NHS because they're understaffed. And then you come here and you see, you just need to look at my videos, your videos. We're not making this stuff up. We're standing in beautiful Moscow city. There's zero trash, there's zero graffiti. Nobody's coming up asking us for money, hassling us, anything like that. But it's not just like we're in one place in Moscow. You go all over Moscow and it's going to be the same. So for me, what would I say? I think the only people that can possibly be saying these things are people that have never been here. And then if you've never been here, then how can you judge if some place is safe, if some place is a place that you'd like to go? So I think people have preconceived ideas and then they just make their mind up.
The next thing they will say is that, Moscow is not Russia.
Yes.
And that's this.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the answer to them?
Well, no, my channel's Scottish Guy in Moscow, so I don't pretend to know. I've only ever been to Electrostal, which is a city it's only 2 hours away, so it's not even far away. So I don't pretend to know. See, I think the problem in today's world is everyone's got an opinion on everything, and everyone thinks because they've got the internet, they know everything about I actively come on my channel and say I vlog about Moscow. I only know about Moscow, I only know about the places that I've been to. So I don't know the whole of Russia. I don't know Vladivostok or Samara.
Would you change your opinion if you would see that? Well, I can tell you it is different, but personally it's not a problem for me. But would it change your mind if you would see these potholes and it maybe some places, it's not crazy different, but some places might be dirtier, you know?
Yeah,
Would you
for
be
sure.
Like shocked, like fuck it, I'm leaving the country?
No, I mean, because the way I see it is I've made a decision that not many people make. I've made a decision to come here to Moscow. I've set my life up exactly how I want it to be set up. If someone doesn't want to live in Moscow, then they don't have to. Yeah, I probably don't want to go and live in some village in the middle of Siberia, for sure. So I wouldn't change my opinion about Russia or Moscow, because there's a big difference of, you're in America, you could live in one of the most affluent cities, or you could live in the middle of nowhere, so it doesn't really matter to me. I've set my life up how I want it to be. I want to show other people how amazing, how beautiful Moscow is. But for sure I know that some people don't live how I live in Moscow, but yeah, some people live a lot better than me as well. Maybe it. I was just going to say, Russian people, that's the first person that's not said hello back to me.
So you work here in Russia, and what can you say about working in Russia? What's like the work environment in your own words, and of course also like taxation?
Well, for me, so I'm a school teacher. Not, usually when I'm saying I'm a teacher, people think maybe like I'm an English teacher online. I'm like, no, I'm an actual school teacher, like in a private school. So people, people pay for their kids to go to get an English education. So it's Russian children, but it's smaller classes. There's no behavior problems because it's like an affluent school. And we teach them all the same things that they would learn in school, but we're doing it in English. For me, I get paid more than I would get paid in the UK. But the big one is I get taxed 13%, 13%. Whereas in Scotland, I would end up getting taxed 46%. And of course, everything else costs less. The school pay for my apartment, they pay my rent, they help me with all that sort of stuff. So for me, in the UK, being a school teacher is a sort of middle-ish job, You're not, as we say, skint. You're not getting no money, but you're not rich. Here, my life is, I must be twice as well off, maybe.
Lives in Moscow City.
I live in, I live near this.
I'm kidding.
But the thing is, I do, but I don't make any bones about it. I pay about $600 or about £500 for rent, which, I don't know, you live in Helsinki, I'm guessing that's...
Twice.
You would pay twice as much as that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the same.
Me paid or pay for apartments?
Yeah, so I pay about $600 per month for my rent in the center of Moscow.
Yeah.
And nice,
In the center of Helsinki, you would pay you wouldn't rent actually. You would have to buy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't afford. Somebody could, but it's stupid too.
Yeah.
But in St. Petersburg, I pay 200 euros for a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that in the center?
It's on the edge of the city, but
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I could.
It's not comparable, but.
Yeah, well, I could move further out and pay less, but I quite like the way where I live. It's near the centre, it's near my job. So, for me, I'm better off living here. But I'm not here just because of the money, because I could go move to the Middle East or something, be a teacher there and be better off, but I don't want to live there.
But what about children's respect? Is there, I think, as a Russian person, culturally Russian, I know that respect for elders, for the teachers, should be really worth mentioning.
Yeah, it's complete respect. We've got small classes of, in
Somebody talk against you shut up.
No, never. In Scotland, we would literally have kids, not in every school, but the schools that I worked in, kids literally throwing the furniture around, throwing tables, throwing chairs, and you could have 33 children, 33 in one class. So here, I think last year I had 12 children, 13 children, something like that. So you've got half as many children. All complete respect for the school, for the teacher, for education. They love to learn. Of course, they come from really good families that really value education. So for me, there'd be no reason to go and do what I'm doing back home in Scotland. I'd be so much worse off than I am here.
No, you were talking about we're trying to take a picture. I didn't smile, and you're like, "Why are you not smiling?" But apparently in Russia, if you smile, you're an idiot or something like that. I don't know what is it you get taught?
No, the thing is that
Smile for no reason.
yeah, it's suspicious and suspicious. Why would you smile? Yeah.
So I'm trying to be as Russian as possible. So
Yeah, I told you, like, what the hell, man? Weren't you having fun? Apparently he did. All right, thank you so much, Jimmy. Seriously, it's been a wonderful. It's been wonderful to hear about your life here in Russia, especially Moscow, of course. And guys, if you are interested, remember to subscribe to Scottish Guy in Moscow. Whoa, Scottish Guy in Moscow. Link in the description and the video's name. And also make sure to watch my video with Jim on his channel.
Yeah, so I'd really appreciate it if you come over to my channel, check out my videos, subscribe. And if you're watching anything on my channel, subscribe to this guy as well.
See you guys. Bye-bye.